Hi, I'm Carri Goldring from the Divorce Lending Association, and I'm a CDLP, which stands for Certified Divorce Lending Professional. And one of the people I like to work with is LaQuita, just to go over what a divorce coach is. And I want her to explain what that is and what she does and how she's helpful for people contemplating or going through divorce. So I want to welcome you. Hi.
Hi, Carrie. Yeah, so I am, like you said, officially known by my clients as Coach Q, but I'm LaQuita Ferguson, and my official title, I guess you could say, is a trauma and divorce recovery coach, which is kind of an oxymoron. If you've been through divorce, then you know it's traumatic. So they kind of go hand in hand. But as a certified divorce transition and recovery coach, what I do is assist my clients through any phase of divorce. So whether they're thinking about it, have already filed, or they are on the I call it the exit end of it, and they're looking to start over their life after divorce. My role is to be a thinking partner for them, because divorce is a very difficult time where your cognitive awareness is limited, and you have so many emotions that are taking over that sometimes it's difficult to think clearly about what you want for the future. It's easy to rehash the past and to talk about how you're feeling now, but moving forward may be difficult. And so my role is to be that thinking partner. And I say partner because it's not my life. I'm not going to be making the decisions for you, but I'm there to ask relevant questions, thought-provoking questions, to remember what you've told me in the beginning about what you want for your life, to kind of remind you throughout the process of who you are, when you are losing your confidence and you don't feel courageous or you don't have enough clarity. So really to help you from the emotional standpoint to be, if you're in the process, to be a credible client with your attorney or whoever is on your divorce team, so that you are utilizing and making the best use of your time with them, because we know time is money. If you're in the beginning stages of it, it's really to help you look at your relationship and your identity in your relationship. Because a lot of times what I find is that you've lost yourself in your relationship and you're questioning whether this is a healthy marriage or partnership for you. And so by re-identifying or recreating your identity, sometimes you're able to reconnect with yourself as well as with your partner. It may be different than what you imagine your life to be, but moving forward, it's going to, help you to have more clarity. And then in the afterwards, it's that same question: who am I now? What do I do now? And so again, being that thinking partner with you to help you explore new opportunities. Maybe you haven't been in the job force or workforce for years and you don't think you have enough qualifications. My role there is to help you look at different career paths based on the soft skills that you may have. We know, I'll just use parents as an example. You are very talented in managing your time, in the emotional intelligence, in managing money. All those things play a role in whatever career path you're looking for. So it's exciting for me to work with someone that is in either phase of divorce, because I've been there and I know what it's like to feel hopeless and like you're not going to be able to move forward, and to come out on the other end of it and look at where you've been and say to yourself, I don't know how I did this, but also to be proud of the progress that you've made, no matter what decision you made throughout the process.
Do you love, I know I love when I talk to people, like sometimes weeks later, years later, and just they have a deep breath and they're like, oh my God, I don't know how I did it without you. And it feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what? I just had recently, and I was reading it again. I had a client send me a card, a thank you card, which is so touching when that happens. And that's one of the things she's like, I can breathe now. And in it, she says, like, I don't know how you do what you do. But she's like, I can breathe now. You're a godsend. You're an answer to my prayers. And I've seen her out and about, and just the glow that she has, it is just completely different from the woman that I met in the beginning, and just the hope and the aura that she has now. That part is very fulfilling.
It is. It is. I agree. I love that, and it's really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're in this storm, right?
Yes, a
And there's
storm. It's like a tornado.
think about everything all at once and pull yourself in a million different directions,
Yeah.
and just keep saying you're okay to anyone who asks, right? Because you can't talk to people, which I think is what's so great about you. When you're going through the divorce process, you have to be very careful of who you talk to and what you say.
Yes.
And you having the experience of going through divorce and talking to a lot of people who have gone through divorce, you kind of get it a little bit better than someone's parent or neighbor who's like, oh, you should be asking for more money, or why aren't you getting this? Or, and then you feel crappy. And then you explain to your attorney, well, my mom said I should be getting more spousal support.
Mhm.
And they explain to you why you don't. And then you go back to your mom and you can't articulate it well.
Yeah.
And then you get more frustrated. So I think it's nice that someone has you, and then they don't have to worry about, are you going to go call their spouse or their parent or their best friend or repeat what they say. You're like a good safe space, but
Right.
different than a therapist.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because the family, friends, those are the people that you're closest to. And so you may want to share things with them. But the one thing that I always remind my clients is they're biased to you, like, and they may think they have the best interest for you because they are so emotionally attached to you, but they're not able, not that they don't want to, they're not able to kind of detach themselves from your emotions. And so that's my role again, is to almost be like a bounce. You can bounce ideas and bounce emotions off of me. Sometimes you just need to vent and let it out so that you can think clearly. And from that, then you're able to, like you said, see the light at the end of the tunnel and make the decisions that are going to be best for you or for your children if you have them. That's so important, to not be so irrational in the decision making that you are, right in the midst of, and having that emotional attachment to. So that it is fulfilling for me to be able to also have the insight of, like, I know where you are, I know why you're there, but I also know where you are going. And, to be able to give them that roadmap to the piece that they're looking for.
I think that's great. So instead of focusing so much on the past, you're really focusing more on the future.
Yeah. I know that the role of the past, anytime there's any type of grief, because that's what divorce is, it's going to rehash the past. And a lot of that has to do with even some childhood wounds that may be there. And so I am, equipped to a degree to help you see how that has played a role in your life. But then the question is always at the end, okay, but what's next? What do you want to do for your life moving forward? And so that is more, the difference between myself as a coach versus a therapist. I'm not here to diagnose you. I'm not here to answer the question why. It's more of the, what do you want? How do you want to get there? Maybe even imagining, some role playing of ideas and in different scenarios that you may encounter, so that you are able to identify with who you want to be and respond from an emotionally intelligent way.
And sometimes, and the therapist doesn't really understand the divorce process or the timeline or anything. So they may be good to help with other areas.
Yeah. I mean, I would say divorce team. It's important to have different professionals on your team. But I would say that if you are looking to move forward, if you are looking to even understand what's going on with you now, then a coach is equipped. There are some therapists that are both a therapist and a coach, and I've worked with some of those, and I have them as on my referral list, but they've even said they would prefer to do one or the other, you know? And so as a coach, I don't have to worry about digging so much into the past. It's more about the future.
I think that's great. I think that's great. If people want to get a hold of you, where's the best place for them to find you?
The best place would be to text or call me. So my business number is 586-684-5994. And then on all social media, I made it very easy. I am at Coach Q Simone on all social media. And then my website is LaQuitaSimone.com. So that's LAQUITA Simone, SIMONE.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. And it's always great to work with you.
Oh, thank you, Carrie. Best to you as well.
Thanks.